Hi, I'm Jacqueline and welcome to Timeless Beauty Studio for the Mature Women. In this video today, I'm going to be going through my every morning routine steps that I take doing my eyelashes and my eyebrows. So I just want to show you how I get them to make them look curled and fuller. As we age, sometimes we're losing the hairs and the curls just not there anymore. So if you're interested in seeing my routine, please stay tuned. Okay ladies, so let's get started. So like I had mentioned, we're going to be doing my eyebrows and my eyelashes today. So it's strictly eyebrows and eyelashes video. And I'll just show you my routine and how I work with my eyelashes and eyebrows. I mean, as I've gotten older, my eyelashes have gotten thinner and they've gotten straighter. So I have to really work with that to make a curl and have them last through the day. And my eyebrows, I don't know if you can see, I got gray hairs throughout the eyebrows and they've thinned out over the years, but I still have a pretty good shape to them. But anyway, work with that. So just follow along with me and I hope you pick up some tips. So here we go. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is start with my eyebrows. So the very first thing I do, and I do want to mention, I usually do my foundation first and all my face makeup first. And then I'll go to the eyebrows and the eyes. So that's just my routine. Doesn't mean you have to do it in that order, but I'll just let you know what I do. So the first thing I'm going to do is the gel my eyebrows. So I kind of do little things a little bit backwards sometimes because I find it works for me and it might work for you. And so that's why I thought I'd share it. So my eyebrows, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to comb them through with a little spoolie. And the reason I do that first is if there's any residue from any of my skincare products or makeup that I've put around my face, I want to make sure the eyebrows are clean. I don't have anything in them. So I usually go through with my spoolie and I do in a brush in an upward motion. And then I just pat through, make sure there's nothing in the eyebrows. Then what I do is I take my eyebrow gel. So I have a couple eyebrow gels here that I'll mention that I think are really good. So this is the Benefit 24-hour setting gel. So it's clear and it really works really well for setting your brows. It stays pretty good all day. And then if you want a drugstore option, I have the Loreal Brow Stylist Boost and Set. And this is L'Oreal, you can get in the drugstore. So I'm going to use, today I'm going to use the Benefits 24-hour gel. So I start off with that. I'm just going to take a little bit. I don't want too much product on the spoolie here. And I'm just going to run it through my eyebrows. Now I run them up. The brows go upward motion. And just like so. And I usually have enough for the first application to do both brows. Just an upward motion. And what this does is it gives, the setting gel actually acts as a base for powder if you use the powder in your brows. And because most of the time I do use powder as opposed to pencil. This is probably best if you're using powders. So if you're using pencil, you can do it, you know, either before or after. It's just not really, but it helps the powder set. Excuse me, before we go any further, I have some allergies happening today, so I might be choking and sniffling, so excuse me. And I'm working in with a headache. My eyes look a little droopy, that's why. Okay, so the next thing I do is I just pat that and make sure that I got enough on the brows to set. So what I'm going to do now is go to the lashes. And what I do with my lashes is after I've blown my hair dry, I take my eyelash curler, like this Tarte eyelash curler. I'll put all the products below so you know what I'm using. So what I do is I make sure that before I start, I make sure it's clean. So I'm going to rub any of the residue on the eyelash curler from the day before off. And then I've blown my hair dry, so I have the hair dryer out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow my eyelash curler to heat it up. So I'll just show you. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to get it too hot. So I think that's enough. And then for me to check, I'm not going to put it right to my eyelashes because I don't want to burn them. I'll take a Kleenex and I can feel the heat on it and it's not too hot. And then I'll go and do my lashes. So what I do is I usually start at the base and squeeze, and then I'll work my way up the lash and move it upwards. Now, oh, you know what? I just remembered I forgot a step. I have to go back, sorry. Anyway, before I do the eyelashes, I usually use primer on my eyelashes. So you might have an eyelash primer that you like, that you buy, say from L'Oreal or Dior or whatever, nice eyelash primer, you can use that. But what I do is I use this is my eyelid primer that I put on before I put my shadows on. And this is from MAC, and it's MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour base. So I'm going to put a little bit on I knew I forgot something, on my finger, and I'm going to take it and I just kind of put it between the two fingers. And then after I've done my eyelid priming, I'm going to run it through my eyelashes and coat my eyelashes. So what this does when I'm curling them, it helps condition the eyelash and hold the curl better too. But like I had mentioned, you can use your own eyelash primer. So I just want to make sure my eyelashes are coated. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, now we'll go into the blow dryer and the eyelash curler. So I'm going to heat it up again because it's probably cooled off. All right. And again, I'm going to take my Kleenex to make sure it's not too hot. Definitely don't want to put it up to your eyes. It's still a little bit hot, so I'll just cool it off a little bit. So you definitely don't want to put it up and burn your eyelids, so be very careful. And then what I'm going to do, like I mentioned, I'm going to take it right to the base of my eyelashes, like that, and then work my way up. Now it's got the primer on the eyelashes, so it seems to help hold the curl a little better. But you got to be very careful that you clean these eyelash curlers so you don't pull your eyelashes out. I'm going to squeeze, pump it, and I'm going to go to my next, or actually, you know what, I'm going to clean it before I go to the next one. Make sure there's no residue on it. Squeeze, 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 and then go up the eyelash. So you can see I'm starting to get some curl. I'm going to go back and do a double one on this one. I want to make sure I get that curl in there. And this one. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my waterproof mascara. I have to use the waterproof in order to hold my eyelashes in place. So I like to use the Covergirl Super Sizer Big. It's the blue tube in Covergirl, and this is the waterproof one. And what I do is I just use I don't like to use a thick coat. I'm just going to take a small or a thin coat and coat my lashes. Now I've done this, I do this before I do any of my eyeshadow makeup. And if it gets on my eyelids, then I can wipe it off without having to mess up my eyeshadows. So I'm just going to go from the base and work my way up. And again, like I said, just a very fine coat. I don't like lashes that have lots of clumps in them. Now this holds my eyelash curl all day long. I'll go this one. And so far so good for me not getting it on my eyelids. But most days I do get it on my eyelids. And it just takes a Q-tip to take it off. Curl the ends of my lashes. Make sure they're coated actually. See? Alright, so I think that's good, like I had said. And sometimes if I get clumps, I will go through. I have a little fan brush from MAC. You can, pretty sure you can still get this. And it's just a little fan brush. And what I'll do is I'll go through my lashes, make sure I get any clumps out. Like so. And I just fan out my lashes. This is a handy little brush. I'll put this down below too if you're interested in that. Okay, so the next step what I do is I want to make my eyelashes look even thicker. So I take and I do a waterline under my waterline, and I have a Shiseido pencil. It's a gel pencil. It's very small. I know Hourglass has one too, and some of the drugstore might have one, but I've been trying the Shiseido one, and I really like it because I do have quite a wet eye that, you know, I'm not able to hold the gel in there for too long, but this one works really well. And also I don't like a fat tip because then I don't like the feel of it in my eyes. So I'm just going to run this underneath, and what I like to do is push it into the lashes. Oops, I don't want to poke my eye. And I bring it down here and then just push it up. And I know this comes in brown and navy blue. I found I was buying the hourglass ones and they were always breaking on me, so I wasn't impressed, and they're not cheap. But the Shiseido, I think it's 20 something bucks Canadian. It's not that bad, and it has lasted me, and it does stay in the eyelash, in my eyelashes really well. So there we go. So that's just thickened up the eyelashes, the base of the eyelashes. And now I could go without even putting an eyeliner on top. And oftentimes in the summer I'll do that to have a fresher look. But anyway, you can eyeline the top or just leave it off too, but it does thicken up the lashes. Okay, so the next thing I know, I'm going to go back up to the brows, and I'm going to start using my powder. Now you can use a pencil like I had mentioned, and I do like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and this one is dark brown. And actually, you know what? I find the spoolies break off of these very easily. But anyway, it's a good pencil. You can do, what I'll do is I'll just do an outline of how I use the brow pencil, and then I'll go in with the powder. So I usually start up in the arch area, and I like to bring it down just a little bit and create more of that arch, and then work it into the tail. So like with my brows, I want to make sure they start here and end right at the sides of how I've angled the pencil here. And then with the arch, I want it right just above the outside of the pupil. So that's how I measure it. And then I'm just going to go on a kind of outline and do small hair strokes. So very lightly, I don't have a lot of pressure on my pencil. And just starting, I do have a lot of holes in here. And like I had mentioned, the gray hairs. So I like to go up at the top and just build that up a little bit. And bring the arch down a little bit, because my arch is pretty narrow there. And then I'm just going to go in and do some small strokes of hair in the front part. So that's just a small amount I've added. I'm going to go over here and show you on this side. Again, I'm starting in the arch, very small strokes, bringing it down to the tail. I don't want it to come any farther. And the arch is just above the outside of my iris and pupil there. And then I'll work at the top, bring it up. I'll make sure that they're even. I know lots of ladies, they might not be even. That's okay. Just work with what you've got. You don't want to start adding too much because it might look really strange. All right, so then I'm just bringing small hair strokes like this into my eyebrow. And then I'm going to take my spoolie and run that through. And I can feel the gel that's kind of dried in there a little bit. But again, like I had mentioned, it holds the makeup product really well. So that's just a little bit of the pencil. And now I'm going to go in with my not eyeshadow, but it is a brow shadow. And what I use is I have these shadows from MAC, and they have the different brow shades that you can use. So I have this in my kit that I use on my clients. So anyway, obviously you can see I use this one a lot for myself. And I will put the color of this down below. It is pretty neutral and it's not too dark. So I take a 263 very fine angled brush from MAC, and I just run it into the powder. And sometimes I'll mix the two a little bit together. And this one here would be a really good shade for, say, really white hair or blonde, but I'm going to go into here. You could mix those two together if you have all gray hair. Tap that off, and then I'm just going to start again like I had mentioned at the arch. Now because I have those holes, the powder fills it in really well. So I'm going to take a little bit more, like so. And as you can see, it's darkened that up. And then I'm just going to run my spoolie through it, and it makes it look very natural. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my other brow. I'm going to use this lighter color, start at the arch, and because I'd mentioned the gel is in there, it's really holding the powder really well. And like I mentioned, it lasts all day too. Okay, so like I mentioned, I don't usually use the pencil all the time, depends on what kind of event, but day to day I'll just use the powder and the gel. And so that's my brows done. Now I'm going to go back to my eyelashes and show you how I finish them off. So I have used curled them, and I've used the waterproof mascara. And what I'll go back in now is I'm going to do another coat of mascara. So I'm going to use the MAC Gigaplay, I always get mixed up on the title of this one, Extended Play Giga Black. And I usually like this one for the bottom lashes, but I do it on the tips of my top lashes too, because it is a tubing mascara and it lengthens them. So what I'm going to do is I'll go in behind like so and just do the tips like that, and then bring it up on the inside. So I'll work both sides of the lashes just to the tip. And I'll go on this one, just in the back of them. Oh yeah, I got it on my eyelid now. But anyway, that'll come off. And this mascara doesn't clump up either. And then I'll just do the outside lashes, right, so. And I'll do the bottom lashes too. Now I'm doing the bottom lashes, but typically I would put my eyeshadows on before I do the bottom lashes, because I will run a little bit of shadow underneath. But I'm just showing you for the sake of showing you. And what I'm going to do is go off camera and come back with my eyeshadows on. Now because my eyelashes are very, very fair, that's why I do put the mascara on the bottom. And this mascara is great, it doesn't smear. Okay, so that's basically my routine for the morning when I'm doing my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And as you can see, it's really lengthened my, thickened and lengthened my eyelashes. And it'll stay like this all day. And I don't find it difficult to take off at night. I use the Sephora waterproof mascara or makeup remover. Just pat it on the eyes, and then I'll use my Bioderma afterwards. And don't pull any eyelashes out, and it comes off really well. So anyway, I'm going to go and put my eye makeup on, the eyeshadows, and I'll be right back. Okay, ladies, I'm back, and I have my eye makeup on. So as you can see, my lashes look pretty full and thick. And just a couple of things I wanted to mention before I leave. I just want to mention I do use an eyelash serum, and I have been using the Eye Envy serum for the last, I would say, 6 to 8 months, and I find it works really well, so I really do like it. And I've also used the Grand Lash serum in the past too, which works well. Now I find after a while, using the serums, my lashes seem to become too used to the serum, and then it stops working, and then I'll switch over to a different serum. So anyway, the eyelash serums definitely make a difference, and I don't think I'd be without my serums. And another little tip is what I like to do is just add a little bit of highlight underneath the brows. So what I'm going to do is take this highlight color in my MAC concealer palette, and this is the Fair Pro concealer palette. And I'm just going to put a little tiny bit underneath this brow, and what it does is raises the brow up. And it's nothing, there's no shimmer in it or anything, it's just a little bit of light. Now you can use your any of your highlighting pencils or lighter concealer to do this too. So that's just an added little touch that I add just underneath the brow. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to show you my routine that I go through every morning, and use any of the tips that you can use too, and I hope you enjoyed it. So I hope you have subscribed to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, and all my new subscribers, I just want to welcome you and say thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I am very happy that you've joined me. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.